Technologies, number one software company in the space of teleradiology and RIS PAC solutions. Sanjeev is one of the founder members of Medif. Since its inception in 2007, Medif has now become a global player and the market leader in India. Prior to this, Sanjeev was part of leadership team at Hughes Medical Systems and Siemens Medical Systems and held various positions in India and other countries. Sanjeev holds a management degree from Faculty of Studies, University of Delhi, Bachelor of Engineering from IISc Bangalore, and Bachelor of Science in Physics from the Delhi University. Welcome you, sir. Mr. Rajiv Shukla has proven track record of 3 decades at senior management level. He is currently the Group CEO of Medanta Super Speciality Hospital, span across locations in India. In the current role, he is responsible for Group IT function covering initiatives for digital transformation and IT operations. He writes in various forums on healthcare subjects and regular panelist on digital initiatives in healthcare. Prior to this role, Rajiv had worked at Polaris as a senior vice president for approximately 13 years. Thank you once again for joining us today. We will start the conversation with Sanjeev. Sanjeev would like to hear from you what are the technology trends that are evolving in the healthcare sector and how we can elaborate it better.
Okay, so it's always good to be an opening batsman, but yeah, also one knows that you have the fierce bouncers and the pace in front of you. But that's okay. I'm not a cricketer. I'm not a, but yeah, I enjoy cricket, yeah. So coming specifically to the topic and the question, Surya, you brought up. See, I think when we are talking of, healthcare and being powered by digital, there are a lot of ways it can happen. And I'm sure with this esteemed panel of Rajiv and Sir Santosh there, who know technology maybe better than me, I'm sure. So this could be a repetition. But yeah, we are talking of at least a dozen and more technologies today, which are prevalent, and each one of them is equal or more important. Just to name a few again, then AI, cloud, big data analytics, blockchain, drones, robotics, 3D printing, AR, VR. So it just goes on and on. So I think, particularly since we are talking healthcare, all of them have some impact and will make some difference to healthcare somewhere or the other. I think from my perspective, the 3 technologies out of these 12, which I think are extremely important and relevant, are cloud, number one, number two, telemedicine, and number three, in that order. And why I have picked that order is because cloud is something which we are all touching and feeling every day now. And it's already understood and it's made an impact. Telemedicine, why? Because it's already been there for the last so many years in existence. In India, we have challenges because of regulatory systems. But one of the good things which this pandemic has done has kind of, reduced that intensity of regulation. So telemedicine has become kind of common to use it. And third is that of AI. While AI, at least I personally feel, holds a lot of promise, but has it touched the ground and is it close to becoming routine in healthcare particularly? I don't think so. So, but yeah, I think these 3 technologies we have to watch for to make a big impact in healthcare going forward. Yeah, Surya, that's my opening comment. Okay.
In today's world as well as future, I'm very happy to see the new policy emerging, which is going to help us streamline and use this for constructive purpose. We will come back and hear more from you on that. Going back to Sanjeev, telemedicine has started showing great results. We also heard about as part of the conversations. You and your team has been specializing in this area, has been pioneers in doing some of these across different smaller dimensions. So we want to hear in terms of how it is being helpful to the society and where do you see the future of this?
So thanks, Surya. But just for the benefit of everybody, see, telemedicine, I'm picking up as a topic, but just stepping back a minute and being, excited by what Mr. Santosh said. So, Mr. Santosh, just for everybody's and your consumption, I'm also a big enthusiast of AI as a subject. It's very close to my heart. We have built some 7 applications which were first in the world in the last 13 years. We are obviously dabbling in AI also, and we have our own algorithms, as well as we have studied some of the most popular algorithms around the world, and we have integrated some of them with the packs. And we are deploying them and seeing how does it work. So AI is extremely fascinating. But like any other technology, and I totally agree with Mr. Santosh, healthcare is a matter of life and death. So if a technology comes into the world in finance or in retail and takes 5 years to come to healthcare, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Because you can afford to get one packet lost, which was being delivered by some drone to you at home using AI and all. It's okay, but you can't do that with health. So, good thing, though the bad thing in a way is that the technology induction into healthcare comes late. But the good thing for companies like us who are in technology in healthcare is that if we can see some technologies there, we can try and dabbling with them and adapt them, and introduce them and apply them. By the time we do it, it's become pretty robust, and tried and tested in that sense. So we have that advantage, of seeing it and not being in a hurry to deploy it. We can take our own time. So we have done some interesting things. And talking about AI, and again, just 1 minute on that, Mr. Santosh particularly. See, I still feel it's at least in radiology space where we are, it's still about 30,000 feet away from routine. And when I'm saying that, I'm comparing it with the other is there. Everybody uses it every day or 24/7. And in between, we have examples like, cars and autonomous cars and all that. So if there, it will come and benefit us sooner than later. And when I am in Chennai next, or even if not, maybe you'll get onto a video or a phone call, and I'll share my experiences of AI with you. And again, I'm not surprised, and I keep telling the whole world, though I'm from living in Bangalore and I come from North, I keep saying that I think Tamil Nadu has been, as a state, most advanced in adopting everything, including healthcare. And healthcare, you guys have been the leading example in the country. And I'm not surprised that, blockchains and AI ethics policies, you are the first in the country to do it. So now coming specifically to telemedicine, see, telemedicine has been there for many years. In India, it was not being used very regularly or very systematically because of the regulatory system. And I'm sure, Mr. Santosh, you understand, was not very firm or what it was pretty fragile. So if you use teleconsult, and if you'll be beaten up for that. So that was a big, drawback, and telemedicine wasn't taking off because of the same reasons. There was case around it. Nobody could charge any consultation fee, so there was no motivation from a business perspective for people to do it. So it never took off in some sense. But thanks to this COVID, I think all those barriers and restrictions have been dropped, and we see it. And I think Rajiv talked all about it. Teleradiology, teleconsults, and everything happening. Now, what I wanted to talk in this platform was something which has not been talked much as far as tele is concerned. Teleradiology has been there for 20 years. Tele ICUs are being talked about for the last 4, 5 years or 6 years. Telepathology is being talked about for the last 1 or 2 years. Have they become routine everywhere available? No. But I thought, let me use this as a platform to talk about a new thing called tele ultrasound. This is something which is not talked about around the world. It has not been kind of, used or anywhere. Now, this is something, according to me, has as much, if not more, potential as tele radiology has or had. So we have started working on that, and we have actually put in the first solution. across a very large and famous maternity and children healthcare chain in India. It's been there for the last 3 months now. We are waiting for the results to come and perfect the solution. And then, of course, we will go US FDA and CE approvals and then launch it in a big way. So ultrasound, tele-ultrasound, according to me, is the new thing you will be hearing soon and seeing it on ground. I think it was extremely important to have this because when it comes to particularly emergencies, and pediatric cardiology or fetal medicine, there is a huge shortage of trained manpower today, or the specialists in the world, and of course in India by many folds more. The moment we are able to deploy this and use it kind of in routine like teleradiology, I think we will be making a big difference to the way patient care is being delivered using ultrasounds. So that's what I wanted to just bring up. And maybe if we have time, we can talk about later, Surya, as to why was it not happening, while the whole world was doing it so far, what have we done? I think those things we can talk about in detail if we have time. But as of
May,
now, I'd like to
would,
leave.
would we would love to hear, maybe I would encourage to share those aspects. It will be useful for all of us who are hearing on those perspectives. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. So, see, the reason, just to give a quick comparison with radiology, is in radiology, we have static images by and large, X-rays, CT, MRs, which are stored and forwarded or accessed by somebody from anywhere. So, which was happening, which is okay. Ultrasound, on the contrary, is a real-time examination. Somebody sits with a probe on the patient and then moves it around and does the whole scanning. Now, the challenges earlier were that how do you transmit this real-time scanning happening, this scanning in real time to the other side without any lag. So that was one big challenge. Second challenge was that, the resolution quickly without any lag. How do you ensure that there's no loss of resolution and the images and the scans are being sent at full resolution? The third challenge which was coming was that even if you are able to do this, since you have looking at dynamic studies, you're talking of frame rates, which can vary from 30 to 60 frames per second. How do you handle that and send it again in full with full fidelity? And last but not the least, is security. As it is when you're moving data around the web, it's a challenge maintaining security when you're just trying to send such a large amount of data in real time. I think security is something which you have to be paranoid about and make sure that there's no leak. So a combination of these was making it very, very difficult for any company or anybody who was trying to dabble in uh, possible. Yes, you would, and of course, on top of the cost. So there are few companies around the world who managed to do it. And while our attempt here was to be able to see this from a distance and guide the person who's sitting there, even if he's not such an expert, guide him and monitor him and train him. I have myself, some people even going one step further, having a robot at the other end and not even having an operator. And robot operating this be controlled from this end doing the scan. So, having said that, have people not tried? Have they done something? But some of these were at exorbitant price, so it never scaled. So we were also able to produce it and deliver at a kind of affordable price. So that's what has made it real, and that's what we are excited about. Because as everybody says, while it's about accessibility and availability, I think in all contexts, and particularly in Indian context, affordability is extremely important also. So I think we have ticked all the and have a solution which we are very proud of, and we should be launching it. Yeah. We've handled all those 5 issues which we talked about. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjay. Very interesting, and I'm sure that as the days come by, we'll be able to leverage those aspects for the benefit of larger population. Quickly to hear from Rajiv in terms of, I think, taking cue from your earlier note.